mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style.
Aloha and good evening, friends of Hawaii County. You are watching Rise Above Big Island, which is a 30-minute talk story on the health issues that affect our people. My name is Dr. Kimo. I'm your host. I'm a psychologist. I work for the Department of Health, but I'm also a trainer, I'm a consultant, and I'm a proud father of 7 children, all under the age of 14. So as you can imagine, how I view health, I view it from many different perspectives. And so this show will view health from many perspectives. But first, since it's graduation, I'd like to take some time to address our graduates of 2011. Recently, I was asked to do the commencement speech at Konawaina High School, which was an awesome place. I had a great time. So if you're a parent watching, if you have a child in the home, if you have a graduate, better yet, and they're not here, get them off of Facebook, tell them come over, come listen to Dr. Kimo. I have some good advice for them as well as for you as parents. But first, let's move over to Konawaina High School and see what I had to say. Let's take a look. I'll catch you guys later. Alright, hey, it's good to be here. I got up early this morning, drove from Hilo, and I was thinking, what am I going to talk about today? But I have some thoughts. I wanted to pick up on where Mr. Suzuki left off. But first, hey, was hard, freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. Hey, I'm talking to the parents, okay? So, I'm talking to the parents. What's hard, So, but you made it, okay? You made it. It's not easy, okay? I get 7 of my own. Okay? So when I got the invitation for come today, I was like, yes, I get to relax on my Saturday. But, you know, as parents, we concerned. And, you know, I'm not real sure what all you folks gonna do after this, but let me just share with you. You know, some of you might go college. That's great, because a high school diploma is like an 8th grade, right? Nowadays, so you gotta go college. Some of you might choose the military. That's awesome. We honor you. That's a tough choice. Some of you might work a little while. You know, finances might be hard. That's okay too. Some of you might like just take a break, because, you know, kind of hard out of school, so. But let me just say this, you know, I had some friends that, you know, when I graduated about 20-something years ago that took break. Guess what? They're still on break. You know what I'm saying? So, be careful, okay? When you take break, make sure it's short, okay? But, you know, if you go college, just know this, that there's going to be a mix of feelings. You know, you guys gonna be all excited that you're gonna have new experiences, and your parents gonna worry that you get the right experiences. You're gonna be excited, you're gonna make new friends, and your parents gonna worry that you make the right kind of friends. Okay, you get excited, you get to manage your own time, free time, and your parents gonna worry that you make good use of your time. And we're gonna worry because we care, because we love our kids. And the best thing that you guys can do for us as parents is not make us worry. So, make good choices. The best way to honor your parents for all the hard work that they put into your education, getting up early in the morning, making you breakfast, taking you to school, okay, is just make good choices. So that we can sit back and wherever you guys end up, away from home or next door, we can say, they're gonna be all right. Okay? You might be in the house for a little while, that's okay too. Alright? But just make good choices. All comes down to choices. And I wanted to share with you something. I wasn't thinking of doing it, but you know, it's a pretty special class. So I wanted to share with you on ha'a. A ha'a that is in my family, that I share with my kids. It was created by my brother-in-law, so it's a ohana ha'a. And a ha'a is different from a haka. A haka is is the New Zealand, the Maoris, they do the haka. But Hawaiians, we had our own haka. We call them one ha'a. Okay, and this ha'a was created because I wanted to leave my kids with something as they go on to their own adulthood. And it's about choices. Okay, it's about choices. And I'll explain it to you in English. Ko holo mauna, ko holo kai. choose to travel mountain or choose to travel sea. You can choose the high road or you can choose the low road. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours. You can choose to paddle a canoe, work as a team, work with your parents, work with your bosses, your future employers, or you can walk by yourself, alone, and think you all by yourself. Okay? So you can do that too. Okay, that's your choice. Hulili malalo. You can huli your hands, and if you huli your hands over, that means you know scared work. Okay, and if you know scared work, olaloa eh. Life is abundant. Okay, or you can hulili maluna. Turn your hands up. Ask for one hand out. Hey, mommy, daddy, I like money. I like. If you get too much, I like. All right? Makiloa eh. Death, unemployment awaits you. Okay? Okay. And finally, you can kui alua. You can choose to fight, or you can oho'omalue. You can choose to make peace. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. So help me with this. I'll say umao kau kau, and instead of saying I, you can say ku, because this is a warrior chant. Okay? And this is, hey, Mr. Watanabe not here, but you remember when he used to give his chants? So I'm going to channel Mr. Watanabe today. Okay? So, umao kau kau. Oh, gotta give some audience participation. Umao kau kau. Hey, that was a risk, okay? I never did the ha'a in public before. And I'd like to thank my brother-in-law, Sky Ishibashi, who's just an awesome man, love him to death, and my in-laws for instilling the Hawaiian culture in me. I'm part Hawaiian, but I never grasped being Hawaiian until I got married to my wife, so that was awesome. But that ha'a, there's deep meaning to that, and it's all about choices. And so, for the graduates of 2011, there's a lot of choices that you're gonna have to make, okay? And the choices center around various aspects. The first question that your parents are probably asking is, what you gonna do next, okay? So, college is a good choice. Military is a good choice too, especially if they can help pay for your education, all right? But and taking a break, like I said in the video, you don't wanna do that. And I still have friends who are on break, so. And some of you might have to work, like I said in the speech, because finances are hard, you can understand that. But always keep your eye on the prize, and the prize is education. I'm a big fan of academics. I think the promise of education is still alive and well. So if you go to college, know that it's a tough choice, but it's a good choice. And I just wanted to share with you some tips on how to make it in college. First question is the living arrangement. Are you going to live in the dorms, or are you going to live with your friends? Okay, there's some questions around that. If you live in the dorms, it's a more structured life. Okay, if you live with your friends, you cannot control the structure because you cannot control your friends. So, my recommendation would be first year college, go live in the dorms. It might be expensive, so that's something to consider. But, everything's there. If you have a food plan, I'd say get on the food plan. Okay, the food is convenient to not worry about cooking. So the living arrangement is something that you want to consider. The next thing you want to consider is transportation. How are you going to get around? Are you going to get a bike? You know, if you live with your friends far from school, then you're going to have, you know, a car, or you're going to have to catch the bus, or you're going to have to make arrangements for transportation. Again, if you live on campus, which is another advantage, you're right there. You can use your legs, okay? You can use a moped, or you can use a bike. So consider transportation as another issue as you go off to college. The next issue is work. Are you going to work part-time? Some of you have to work because, you know, tuition's expensive. So if you're going to work, are you going to work on campus? Or are you going to work off campus? These are some of the things to consider. And, you know, I was a counselor at high school and in the Department of Education, and we didn't really get into all these different aspects of college. So this is something good for you to consider. You know, where you're going to live, you know, how you're going to get around, and if you're going to work or not. Because that all impacts academics. For the first year, because of the transition is so, you know, it's like going from 8th grade to 9th grade. It's that transition period. Because it's so complex, so different, so new, you want to minimize the distractions that's surrounding you. So if you live in the dorms, if you work on campus, if you don't need transportation for the first year, that tends to work in favor of your academics. The other question is social life. You know, what kind of social life are you planning to have? Okay, some of you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, and that was a big decision, right? Oh no, what school you going, right? Oh, let's go to the same school, and your parents are like just praying, please make the right choice. Okay, just know this: don't let your relationships affect your goals. Okay, don't let your relationships affect your academic goals. There's a lot of time, I'm sure your parents shared this with you, there's a lot of time for relationships, okay, but there's not too much time for your education. So, because that goes by real fast. So your social life. Again, if you live with your friends, then you're going to have a different type of social life. If you live in the dorms, it's going to be more structured, for the most part. But there's a lot of distractions in the dorms as well. But at least it's contained, it's controlled. Also about social life is your extracurricular activities. You know, college is not like high school. Okay, high school you gotta go class. If not, you get absent or you have a call into your parents. College, you go if you like. If you don't like, you don't go. And so it all depends on your priorities. If you like to surf, if you like playing basketball, if you like hanging out with your friends, and if that takes precedence over your academics, you're in trouble. All right. So you gotta find a way to balance off your social life with your academic life, which means you gotta manage your time. Just like what I said in the video. You know, this is the time of excitement and worry. Okay? You are I would be excited. I was excited when I went to college. Free time, right? Make my own curfew, parents not around. But that can be a trap too if you don't have self-discipline. So make sure you manage your time. Okay? I remember a story of a father who he had a rule, and his son asked him, so Dad, you know, how am I doing? How do I know if I'm doing good or not in college? You know, and the father said, well, your grades will depict it all. He goes, what do you mean? He says, well, if you have an A, that's awesome. And the son said, oh, cool. But if I have a B? He says, well, if you have a B, you can do better. And he goes, what if I have a C? Well, if you have a C, you're coming home. So, you know, that's pretty strict, but ultimately, you know, your parents helping to pay for your education. Even if you get a scholarship. Some of you get full ride scholarships, right? Sports or academic. You still need support around, you know, extracurricular activities, you know, $5 here, $20 there, and that's most likely coming from your parents. So like I said in the video, the best thing that you can do is to honor your parents is just make good choices and basically reach that level of maturity where they don't have to worry. Okay? The next area I'd like to talk about is your academic life. Now here's the tricky part, okay? Me, local boy, born and raised Big Island, right? Pidgin English, a lot of insecurities. My ethnicity, Hawaiian Portuguese, if you know anything about social stereotypes. Okay, I get the double whammy, right? Half of me is supposed to be stupid, I'd half lazy. Okay, so I was raised with this notion that college might not be something for me. So the first thing that you can do is revisit those self-thoughts that you have and change those thoughts, because I realize anybody can do anything. If this Hawaiian Portuguese local boy, pidgin speaking, can become a doctor, so can you. Okay, so get your mind straight, believe in yourself, and approach academics as if you're an athlete, as if it was a championship game. Okay, because you can do it. There's some tips. When I went to Hawaii Law College. It's HPU now, and I remember buying a book, and the book was about 6 pages long, and the book pretty much suggested several things on how to make it academically. And the first thing that the book said is, go look at the syllabus. Take a look at the syllabus and find out if that class is one that you can bear, okay? Because the syllabus pretty much tells the tale. It tells you what to do. It tells you, how much pages that paper will be. It tells you the grading style of the professor, if they're just a midterm and final type grader, because I get nervous around those, right? Because I don't do well on tests. If the course, if the grade in this course is just based on the midterm and the final, I'm in trouble. Okay, so because you have that window of opportunity to withdraw from that class. Okay, another thing I learned is ask your friends who took classes from these professors how they are. Sometimes it's not the class that makes the class difficult, it's the professor that makes it difficult. Okay, there are professors from hell. Okay, so you gotta make good choices around who you decide to choose to take that calculus class from. And in some colleges and universities, you have different professors who teach the same course. So you want to ask around because they can make life really hard for you in their grading policy. So take a look at the syllabus, see if that's the course that you can handle. If it's a course that you can handle, go for it. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you major in a certain area, you got to take that course. Well, then you just got to buckle down and you just got to do it. Okay. First thing, when you go to class, make sure you're going to class. That's the first thing. Second thing is sit in the front row. I never thought that would be a tip that would be helpful to me, but that was a great tip. Every class, I sit in the front row, and when the professor would lecture, the book also suggested to act like you're interested. Don't do this. Okay, you do that, you're in trouble, because the professor's already painting a picture of the kind of student you are. Okay, so don't do this too. Okay, like you're falling asleep. Okay, the professor is watching. Okay, I teach too, and I see students who what is, okay, so be careful. All right, and be attentive. That's why I get good sleep in college. But be attentive, and when they talk, do this. Oh, wow. Act like you're hearing things. Take notes. Nothing's worse than a student. As a professor, you're giving your best quote and your most exciting topic, and nobody taking notes. They just look at you like that. So make pretend you're taking notes, or you can do typing, or however it is nowadays with technology. So sit in the front row, pay attention. Another thing you want to do is you want to get to those papers quickly. Okay, I mean, talk about papers. 10 pages, 20-page papers is not unusual for college. They might say write about a president. You want to pick a topic that you're interested in, or if the topic is a presidency, pick the president that you're most interested in or you want to learn about, so that you can reach 20 pages. Because if you're not interested in the topic, you're going to be struggling page to page. And the worst thing is facing a blank page and asking yourself, gee, what am I going to write on this thing? Okay, but if you're interested in a topic, thoughts will flow. Okay, so you want to sit in the front row, you want to take a look at that syllabus, and see if this is a course that you can handle. You want to talk story with your friends, get a feel for the professor, see if they're reasonable or not. You want to make sure you show up in class, which means you got to manage your time, going back to the social life, and you also want to make friends. Okay, because here's the deal: if you go to a college in Hilo, UH or HCC, you're gonna have plenty of friends already, so you don't need to worry too much about that. Which that might be a distraction too. So I like to encourage all of our 2011 graduates, if you can, Hilo's a great place. UH is an awesome school. I mean, we're thriving in education on this island, higher education. So, if you choose UH, that's great. If you choose Oahu, that's okay too. Okay. Now, if you choose mainland, I have a bias. I say better yet. Why? Because I think, especially if you're born and raised here, if you're born and raised here, you should go away a little while. That's my own bias, you know. But why? Because when I went away, I learned more about myself being away than any textbook could have ever taught me. You know, first thing I learned is to be proud of Big Island. Second thing I learned is to be proud of my pidgin. I was ashamed speaking pidgin over here. I get detention for speaking pidgin in the schools growing up here. So, you know, I get a little bit trauma still yet. But there, people like learn pidgin. They're kind of fascinated with the local culture. So then my self-esteem started to change. I missed home, which made me appreciate my parents, made me appreciate my coaches, my uncles, my aunties, my family. So you kind of get that from reading one book. It also made me appreciate my culture. You know, I wasn't more proud to be Hawaiian than when I went away. So that's just my experience. That's why I have a bias around, you know, going away for college. But if you stay here, UH is an awesome place. You have a good education for sure. If you go Oahu, Manoa, or the community college, or Chaminade, or BYU, those are great schools as well. Okay, I went to HPU, solid. Okay, I have friends who went to these other schools. They all share positive experiences about these schools. So anywhere you go, just know that well, different challenges will present itself. If you go mainland, the biggest challenge is not coming home. You're going to come home because you're going to miss home. And some of you thinking now, oh yeah, right, you know. But you know, that's how I thought. And when I went away, man, I started missing home. Several reasons. One, food. Okay, you cannot get rice in every place. And they don't serve rice with everything. So I had to learn that right off the bat. Okay, we had to travel like 200 miles for rice. So that was rough when I went to school on the mainland, I went to the University of Nebraska. Let me just share that, which is quite different than HPU. Okay, HPU, that was just a local scene. I didn't miss home as much, all right? But now University of Nebraska, whoa, that was tough. Okay, 98% of the people in Nebraska are Caucasian. I look Caucasian, but I talk funny. They couldn't figure me out, right? So that whole social experience was difficult. Fortunately, I took my wife up there, and together, you know, we were a support system. But still missing home. So, you know, so the food, the people, you know, you gotta hang. You gotta be able to hang 1 month, 2 months, 3 months before you say I'm done. Because by the third, fourth month, you're making friends. And when you're making friends, you're finding somebody from Hawaii. And that's what I did. Found somebody from Hawaii. And boy, did that make the difference. Because then you can share stories. You can share thoughts. You can share strategies on how to make it in certain classes. And you can reminisce about Hawaii. You can play ukulele. You can dance. You know, you can watch Merry Monarch together. You know, so you can do things that will make you miss home less. So that's important. Find somebody. Find somebody from Hawaii, and also know that the protocols are different. Okay, so that would make me feel funny too. Like they don't give the, you know, the brother handshake. They give the firm handshake. Squeeze your fingers, you know. I wasn't raised with the squeeze the fingers. That's an aggressive gesture. You know, so when my advisor, you know, she meets me, she goes, "Hey, Kimo, good to meet you," and she goes like that, and she squeezed my hand. I was shocked. I squeezed her hand back. I didn't want to be intimidated on the first day, you know what I mean? So poor thing though. She's like, "Oh," I go, "Oh, sorry, man." You know, I didn't know it's a cross-cultural miscommunication. But you know, so things like that, right? The greetings are different. Not everybody hug. You know, so I was hugging everybody, and I remember I went to this one of my colleagues and I gave her a hug, you know, because she looked Asian looking, and she went like this. You know, I don't know, but I was already committed. So when you hug somebody and they go like that, you know, you feel kind of junk. So you know, so I just never feel connected. You know what I mean? So when you go off to a different place, there's some challenges. I think it's good because you get to learn a lot about yourself, but it's a lot of awkward experiences. So just know but just know this, that if you stay long enough, the people become friendlier. Your perceptions towards them change, you know, because we all have biases. You may leave this island with your biases. So just know that if you stay long enough, people will change, your perceptions will change, and then you'll grow to love that place. Okay, so know that that college can be difficult. all right? But it also can be an exciting time. When you get old like me, you will reminisce on your college experiences, like you will reminisce on your high school experiences, okay? There's no better time than high school, that 4 years of high school, and that 4 years of college, okay? I say 4 years because I know some of you guys like take 10 years. No do that, okay? Make college a good experience, but don't make it a financial burden when you get out, because those loans, they keep adding up, all right? And fortunately, you know, my dad, I love my parents because they were able to set aside money for my education. And I didn't get pressured to get a doctorate. It was something that I just wanted to do. My dad's a plumber, hard worker. My mom's, you know, a business person who supported my dad, hard worker. And so the best thing I could do, and which is I shared that to Konowaina in the commencement speech, the best thing I could do as a son to honor them is to just work hard in school, so that they don't need worry. Because parents, we're gonna worry. Yeah, we love our kids. We want the best for them. We want them to make good choices. You know, we hope that as they go away, that they remember the values that we taught them, that they remember their roots, and that they stay grounded. And you know, doesn't hurt to pray. It doesn't hurt to have God in your life as well, because we need all the help we can get. It's not easy being a parent nowadays, and it's also not easy being an adolescent or a teenager or a young adult. So best wishes to you folks. I'm really happy about this little pilot project that I have with Naleo. I'm looking forward to the next 5 shows, and then after that we're going to reevaluate and see if this is something that Big Island would benefit from. So thank you so much for your time. It's right about that time to go relax and go enjoy. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, rise above Big Island, and ahui ho.
On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side.